Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another PlayStation 4 review. Today's review is for Thief Simulator. Now, this game was released very recently on PlayStation 4, just last week, and I've been putting quite a few hours into this over the weekend. And essentially, if you watch my reviews or you watch my channel at all, any of my gameplays, any of my PlayStation 4 reviews, you know essentially that I quite like pretty chilled out, relaxed games for the most part. And so quite a lot of them are like simulator type games. I like farm simulator type games, all that kind of stuff. Games you could just chill out and play. Now the question is, can you really chill out while playing a game where you are simulating being a thief? Doesn't seem morally right for some reason, that does it really? However, yes, the answer is you can really. Pretty chilled out game that this is. It's not an overly intense game, surprisingly, when you consider the subject matter. And you start off the game as a bit of a Jason Statham lookalike, as a thief. You can't change your appearance in any way. That appearance is set. And you start off as a very low level thief. And you are initially contacted by someone called Vinny on your phone, who essentially is the tutorial really. He essentially guides you through the game. So he will tell you to use your... Early on in the game he'll teach you how to use your tools, how to sneak into houses, what to do back at your base, how to access your computer, where you get hints and tips from, and he will give you like your story missions, but the more like tutorial missions, if I'm being really honest here. However, in between those missions that you get from Vinny, you can also pick up jobs back at your base of operations if you like. You can go on your computer, and there's a few options on that computer. You can buy new tools. You can go on something called Black Bay, which is obviously a take on eBay, where you can sell some of your stolen goods, some of your more expensive, hard to find stolen goods. And then there's I can't remember what you call it, something like Rent a Thug, I don't know, something like that. You go on there and you can buy hints and tips as they become unlocked about certain houses in the neighbourhoods. And these hints and tips are actually quite useful. Certainly the routines of the people living in that house are very, very useful, because you know when they're going to be in and out if you look at these routines or you buy these tips. You can also scope out the house as well. If you don't want to pay for these tips, you can scope out the houses and learn people's routines, which is fairly simple as well. But it's quite simple to make decent money in this game. And the object of the game, obviously, is to rob people's houses. And you start off very low level, you're robbing shacks almost, you know, and even pots and pans will go for a small amount of money. The amount of cash that people leave lying around in this game is pretty frightening. You know, stacks of $15, $20, sometimes $50 and more. The more expensive the house, the more pleasant the neighbourhood, the more expensive the goods are that you will find in that property to sell on. And you could, like I say, you can sell these things on in a number of ways, on the Black Bay, on your laptop, or you can go to the local pawn shop and sell your items there. There's even a scrapyard where you can sell your car parts and all that kind of stuff. And as you progress through the game, as you unlock new skills, because there is like a level up system in this game for your character. It's fairly limited and it's very, very basic, and it basically levels up things like your agility, which allows you to climb vines and things as the more you level up, and your lock picking ability, which is very, very important. There's like a few different versions of lock picking. You've got your basic lock picking that's very akin to what you see in Fallout. Then you've got another version of lock picking, and then you've got like an electronic version of lockpicking. So they're all slightly different, and they're all fairly easy and simple to pick up and learn. If you mess up a job, if you are seen by someone wandering the neighbourhood trying to break into a house, they'll call the police. If you don't scope out the house properly, and a neighbour sees you, then they will and the person inside the house sees you because you don't know their routines yet, they will ring the police. So there is a police presence on this game. However, all you really need to do is run to your car, jump in it, drive off, and then drive out of the map, which is fairly easy to do, and then just drive home or to the pawn shop, wherever, and the police have stopped chasing you by that point. So from my experience playing this game, it's a pretty tacked on thing, the police presence, and it's very, very easy to escape. And to be perfectly honest, I've not been caught once yet playing this game, and I've put a few hours into this game now. So it tries its best, this game, to I don't know, to feel like you're progressing and making progress in the game. Like I say, the more you unlock, the more tools you unlock, the better houses you can rob. The better houses you can rob, the better the items in that house is to sell on, so you're going to make more money. So there's an upward slope in this game for you to learn, a learning curve, but it's not too intense, and it's not too arduous, and it's not too punishing. I mean, sometimes it can be frustrating because you'll make a silly mistake, or you think you've scoped everything out properly, and then you'll start lock picking someone's garden gate to get inside, and then someone in the neighbourhood, this is like 3 o'clock in the morning or something, and then there's always people wandering around the neighbourhood even at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they'll spot you and then ring the police, and you've got to drive off and come back and try again. So that can get a little bit frustrating, because you think you do all your planning, and then there's a level of unpredictability still in the game, which can be seen, I think, as a negative or a positive. For me, it doesn't say an awful lot about the realism of the game, if you like, if there's people wandering about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So in regards to the items that you rob, you've got like a rucksack that you can put smaller items in, phones, routers, radios, pots and pans, all that kind of stuff, and anything larger like paintings, electrical items like TVs, printers, that type of stuff, you have to literally carry them and put them in the boot of your car. So you've got to be a bit more, there's got to be a bit more planned if you're going to be stealing bigger items. So if you're going to know, for example, if you're going to go to a new property and rob something, and you know you're going to rob a painting there or a big TV, leave the boot of your car open, but don't leave the car as well somewhere suspicious, because people will report it, like a car parked suspiciously and all that kind of stuff. So it's a decent enough game, this. Is it gonna rock your world? No, the graphics aren't very good, the gameplay is basic at best. It's a decent idea that's been reasonably well put together, but like I say, its assets and the graphics and things like that are not up to scratch, really. It's a budget game at the end of the day. You can't really expect an awful lot for a game that costs, I think I paid $15.99 in the UK for this, and if I'm honest, I think that's probably still a little bit overpriced. I think if it was maybe around £10 or $10 to $12, something like that, I think that's a better price point maybe for this sort of game. It's something different, and I always look for something different in games. I like games that let you try something different, and this certainly does it. Allows you to, if you've ever wanted to you live out a fantasy of being a thief, well, here you go, you've got the perfect game here. For me, I think this is playable, but it gets a bit predictable and samey after a while. You're just basically doing the same things, it's just different things that you're robbing in different houses, but you're still scoping them out. Some houses have got different technologies, you might have to get through security systems, things like that, but it's not that different each time, really. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's okay. It's certainly, if it's something that you want to get, it might be something you might probably want to wait for a sale, and it's a game that will probably drop in a sale fairly quickly, I would imagine. So that is my review for Thief Simulator. Something a bit different, something a little bit original. I always like to see that on PlayStation. I think it's a little bit overpriced, but there is some fun to be had in this game. So I do hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will be back for more reviews on Screen Stars very, very soon.